Welcome back. Solve this equation. Square root of 5 minus x plus 1 equals x minus 2. Note, whenever you have square root or a radical equation, you should remember to check the solutions at the end. Because square root could be positive or negative based on what you have. Okay, so let's see an example, this example here. I have an addition of 1, so goal is to get rid of the radical, so isolate the radical. Subtract 1 from both sides. So plus 1 gets cancelled by negative 1. You have radical 5 minus x equals x. Negative 2 minus 1 is negative 3. X minus 3. Now you see, now that you have isolated the radical, you may square both sides. Only after isolating the radical do you square it. Okay? Square both sides. The square cancels the square root. You have 5 minus x. On the other hand, x minus 3 quantity squared. X minus 3 quantity squared is x minus 3 times x minus 3. Notice I'm squaring the parentheses. So the parentheses repeats. How do we multiply this? We multiply this by distribution. X times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. We are done with x. Now distribute the negative 3. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. X squared minus 6x plus 9. So that's x minus 3 quantity squared. 5 minus x squared minus 6x plus 9. I have just rewritten it by exchanging the sides so that my square is on the left. X squared minus 6x plus 9 equals 5 minus x. Notice I have a degree 2 equation. So bring everything to one side and have a 0 on the other. So how do I get the 5 over? Subtract 5 from both sides. How do I get the negative x over? Add x to both sides. Negative 6x plus x is negative 5x. Plus 9 minus 5 is plus 4. And here on the right everything got cancelled. So you have x squared minus 5x plus 4. Let's see whether the left hand side factors. I have a monic polynomial, that is I have a 1 over here. So I'm looking for factors of positive 4 which combine to be negative 5. Positive 4 can be factored as negative 4 times negative 1. Negative, negative, positive. If you combine them, that is negative 4 plus negative 1, I get negative 5. So this factors neatly. I have x minus 4 and x minus 1, the two factors of positive 4. Which means once I have that, I have 0 on the right hand side. So set each factor to 0. Okay. That is adding 4 gets me x equals 4. Adding 1 gets me x equals 1. Now at this point, remember we started off with a radical equation. Always check the solutions. So 4 and 1 we want to check whether they solve this equation. Let's check with 4. The left hand side is square root 5 minus 4 plus 1. 5 minus 4 is 1. Square root 1 plus 1, that is 2. What about the right hand side? RHS. X is 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. 2 and 2 they agree. X equals 4 is a solution. Now try x equals 1. Square root 5 minus x plus 1. So x is 1. 5 minus 1 is 4. Square root 4 plus 1. Square root 4 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. On the right hand side, x is 1 minus 2. That's negative 1. 3 does not agree with negative 1. So x equals 1 is not a solution. X equals 4 is a solution. Okay. So don't forget, when you have a radical equation, check your solutions at the end. Next, x to the fourth power minus 5x to the second power plus 4 is 0. So notice x to the fourth power is square of x squared. So this gives us a suggestion. Substitute. Use another variable. Let's call it u. U equals x squared. Then what is the power, second power of u? U to the second power is x squared squared. Power of power, multiplication of power. So it is x to the fourth power. So x to the fourth power is u squared. X to the second power is u. We have an equation in degree 2. Can we factor this? Well, we just did, didn't we? I want factors of positive 4 which combine to be negative 5. Negative 4 times negative 1 is positive 4. Negative 4 plus negative 1. So they combine to be negative 5. So this equation factors as u minus 4, u minus 1 equals 0. Solve for u. Set each factor to 0. U minus 4 is 0, u minus 1 is 0. Add 4. Here add 1. U equals 4, here u equals 1. Well, do not stop here because our question was in terms of x. U is x squared, right? So where you see u, that becomes x squared. X squared equals 4, x squared equals 1. How do I solve for x? Take square roots. Keep in mind, when you take square root, you have plus minus option. Take square root, you have plus minus option. So x is plus or minus 2 and or plus or minus 1. Okay, these are your solutions. Here is another kind of equation, absolute value equation. Absolute value 7x plus 1 minus 9 is 0. Add 9 to both sides, which gets you absolute value 7x plus 1 equals 9. Okay. So notice, whenever you have, it's like a radical equation. Isolate the absolute value first. Move the other things to the other side. Now, how do we handle absolute value? Recall, what is absolute value? Absolute value of a number is its distance from 0 on the number line. Absolute value a is 9 means a could be negative 9 or a could be positive 9. There are two options for a. So, the object inside absolute value could be negative 9 or the object inside could be positive 9. So, you have two equations now to solve without the absolute value. Okay. Well, this is straightforward. Get rid of the addition by 1 first. Subtract 1 from both sides. That gets you 7x equals negative 10 or 7x equals positive 8. Now you divide both sides by 7 because 7 is being multiplied. Divide by 7, divide by 7. Divide by 7, divide by 7. X is negative 10 over 7 or 8 over 7. two solutions. Okay. A word problem. A large pond is stocked with fish. The fish population P is modeled by the formula P equals 3t plus 10 square root t plus 140, where t is the number of days since the fish were first introduced into the pond. How many days will it take for the fish population to reach 500? We want the population to reach 500. So the population P must be 500. P has this formula. So that formula must be 500. So notice I have a radical equation. When you have a radical equation, you have to isolate the radical. So I'll first subtract the 140 from both sides. 500 minus 140 is 360. Now I'll subtract the 3t from both sides. So on the left I have 10 square root t. On the right hand side I have 360 minus 3t. I've simply factored out the 3 because these numbers are rather large. It really doesn't matter. Okay? I have a square root t. How do I get rid of square root? I square it. But notice I cannot only square one piece. I have to square both the sides. So 10 square root t, quantity squared, equals 3 120 minus t, the entire quantity squared. 10 square is 100, square root t squared is t. 3 squared is 9, 120 minus t squared. Let's figure that out on this side. 120 times 120, 14400. 120 times negative t, negative 120t. Negative t times 120, negative 120t. Negative t, positive t squared. Combine these quantities and bring them over. So you have 100t equals 9 and this quantity. 14,400 minus 240t plus t squared. All right, distribute the 9. Rather large numbers. Don't be afraid of large numbers. Simply proceed. Now that's a quadratic equation, degree 2. So you must get everything to one side and 0 on the other. This is 100t. I'm subtracting 100t. Once I do that, on the left I have 0, on the right I have all of this. Okay, I have rewritten this equation with my expression in t on the left and 0 on the right just for readability. Is the same expression written on the left, 9t squared first, the t term second, and the constant term third. Okay, notice the sign. Only the middle term is a negative. They are both positive here and 0 on the other side. Now we are ready to use quadratic formula. Minus b plus minus square root b squared minus 4ac the whole over 2a. A is 9. B is negative 2260. C is, what is this? 129,600. Okay. Substitute in the formula. These are large numbers. Be careful, but the algebra remains the same. Eventually, I get square root of some positive quantity, so I have two potential solutions. From the first, I get t is